It's your friendly neighborhood Varsider here, and you just thought you'd be getting Call of Duty out of me, didn't you? Well, this is Nexuiz. It's a player versus player, multiplayer only game. First person, fast paced, in the veins of Unreal Tournament and Quake. It's awesome. I love games like that. It's mainly where I started off. I really miss these, and I'm glad they're bringing them back. This map is Overlook. The game type is CTF. It's like a big Z shape. It's a really fun map, nice and small, and it's really fast. This gameplay, I go, what do I go? I go like 30 something, 33 to 4. And it's basically like 2v3 because one of our guys is retarded and he's standing still and he ends up leading towards the end. Anyway, the game's only 3v3 at the moment due to a bug, but the actual game will be 4v4 after the title update, which will be coming soon. Now, I love this game because the developers are passionate about their game, about their community, and they want our feedback, and they're actually willing to support and fix the game for us. Freaking shock horror for once. They actually have the ability to do that without releasing patches every 4 minutes. They can just do little server-side tweaks which adjust weapon damage, weapon spawns, mutators, all that kind of jazz. And on top of that, they want a competitive game. Fucking praise the heavens. Hell, they even talked to some of the MLG pro players to get feedback on the game, which is actually pretty surprising. I'm really happy with. The main thing they got out of it was that MLG doesn't like random, competitive players don't like random, which is true. So they did their best to like alleviate that issue by having the ability to turn off the mutators and such in the private match, and you've got a lot more customization in the private matches to be able to set that stuff up. But I'll touch on mutators and stuff like that a little bit. The game's simple enough for noobs to pick up. There is a lot of variety, but it's a fairly stripped down game. You won't have like 20,000 menus to select a gun, a perk, or an attachment to deal with like in COD. You just jump in and you play. But for the few actually skilled players out there, you can really sort the boys from the men. There's like a massive potential for a huge skill gap, and it's straight up impossible to sit in the corner and do well. So to be successful at the game, your shot and gun skill is incredibly important, more so than Call of Duty, because you can't just sit here and spray and pray. Do that all you want, but you actually have to stay on the target for more than like 0.5 of a second to get a kill. It takes a fair few bullets or a couple of rockets, but you've got to be accurate and you've got to be smart about your shots. On top of that, smarts play a really big role. Map and weapon control is key, so you have to organize your gunfights in areas that suit you. So that's why you may see me like camping in certain areas in sort of the TDM game types. Like I move around armor and weapon pickups so I can get an edge in battle. So if I make a mistake, I have to fight multiple opponents at once. I can sort of rotate, grab some armor, grab a new weapon. So it sort of takes outplaying people to a new level when you've got items you can pick up to use as well. Like I mentioned in my Stalker video, I absolutely love games with just fluid, smooth movement, and this game is perfect. It's as tight can be. Like all the other Unreal tournaments in Quake, it's pixel perfect. I love it. You can just simply you can outmaneuver people. Like the amount of times I've made people fall off the map, or I've seen people fall off the map, is just fantastic. Pretty much, if you like movement, buy it right now. So anyway, onto the mutators that I mentioned before. Mutators are earned through getting objective like fire caps. I think you also get them from kill streaks as well, and they are pickups on the maps. They're just sort of like these little glowing glowing coloured orbs. I think they're red, yellow, and blue or something like that. Anyway, what the mutators do is they just basically affect the gameplay in not random ways, but they just sort of add like a layer and an element of fun to like the hardcore arena PvP stuff. So you'll notice a couple of times they get super weapons like the Hagar and the Electro, and the Electro fires like big balls of AoE electricity that damage you as you walk through them, and the Hagar is like a machine gun that fires rockets, and it gets like a massive buff, and the explosions get a massive damage and range. There's also mutators that just give you double damage, or there's one that gives everyone jetpacks, which for some reason I actually hate, but everyone else seems to love. There's some miscellaneous ones that, like one that changes the map from day to night, and it does like a big cycle where all the shadows move across, the sun goes down, the moon comes out, which I thought was just incredibly awesome. There's one that makes the game look like a retro version of the original, like Nexuiz on PC. And my personal favourite mutator is a bomb. Basically what it does is it sets just someone randomly in the game, your team or their team, to explode. And basically you're like 4 or 5 seconds and you just hear this fuse ticking down. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just doomed. I've definitely done it a couple of times and gotten myself when I'm just like fully stocked up on armor. It's the worst, but it's funny as, and I actually enjoy it. I can happily do without the mutators because they really have no place in competitive play. You can definitely just stack up a lot of mutators if you're on a spree, and you can just get really lucky, and it'll turn the tide of the war for you. So in private matches you can turn them off, which is really awesome. So I'm pretty keen for some clan matches if anyone out there wishes to add me. Vilesider, please. Alright, for the remaining half of this video, I'll just hit you guys with a little bit of a review, just my thoughts on the positives and the negatives. So basically, this game is made with CryEngine 3, so it's the engine that was used to make Crysis, which is made by Crytek. This engine is pretty well worlds beyond a lot of other engines. Its only real direct competition is probably the Unreal Engine, which Epic uses. So the point I'm making here is it's relatively easy to use. The developers get to spend sort of more time creating and perfecting the game rather than like beating around the bush trying to create the tools to actually build a game. So in the end we get a higher quality game a lot quicker. And thanks to this magical engine we get just like such a fantastic looking game. Like Crysis is probably one of the most beautiful games I've ever played, and that definitely comes across here. Just the lighting and the shadowing is just so beautiful. Everything shines and glistens and gloss, and it just really gives that futuristic feel. The just characters glow and the guns look fantastic, and just they feel good and they look good and they're fun to use. Now the maps are all really symmetrical and they're pretty well equally as beautiful thanks to the CryEngine. The size of the maps are pretty well perfect for 4v4. There's enough lines of sight and open areas and just sort of nice ground and things to duck behind. They're just perfect for all the little duels that happen in the team fights. I have a little experience with the CryEngine sandbox editor, and I know how fun and versatile it really is to use. So the maps sort of go from these futuristic streets like this map I'm playing on now to these like fantastic little rocky temples and this big crash site on top of like these misty mountains on this cliff top. I think there's 9 maps total, and there's DLC coming in the future. And by the looks of things, thanks to the sort of symmetricalness and the fact this is like an arena competitive shooter, it's not like Call of Duty where, oh wow, there's 18 maps but you can only play about 5 of them because they're that unbalanced and crap. Whereas this is just like, they look great, they play great, no real side has a massive advantage over the other. It's pretty well perfectly balanced out. Now onto the controls. They're really tight, they're really sharp, what you'd expect from an arena shooter like this. The controls are completely remappable, so I don't need to take my hands off the thumbsticks to do anything at all. That's pretty well thanks to my Onza. So I've got a couple of my shoulder buttons to switch weapons back and forth, and I've got jump and melee mapped to the other shoulder buttons, so I never have to take my hands off the thumbsticks. I play with my sensitivity relatively low, just, I don't know, that's how I've tuned to. I used to play Unreal Tournament and stuff like that on 10 cents. I have no idea how I did that, but I used to have just the fastest Twitch reactions. But this game's got a neat feature where you can map a button to be able to like quadruple your sensitivity, so it just goes really really fast all of a sudden. So I play probably like the equivalent of like a Call of Duty 2 sensitivity, but I click in the left thumbstick and I can just basically spin around in circles really fast. I use that for like a lot of Twitch shots and a lot of like sort of 180s if someone's behind me. Another one of the positives is definitely the music. Like I haven't had a game where I genuinely enjoy sitting in a menu for a while. Like I know people just want to mute Call of Duty. Like whenever we're done a game, I pretty much dashboard just because it's so freaking loud and terrible. Nexuiz has like this futuristic electronic stuff with a pretty slick bass, and it's a nice change from sort of Call of Duty's rock and roll, level up tunes, and the sort of atypical orchestral stuff that sort of Halos help breed and make more popular. Onto the negative. The positives definitely far outweigh the negatives in this game, and my negatives are sort of just like borderline pedantic. The loading screens are a little slow for what I typically expect of a game these days, but I assume that may be just a bit of stress on the servers and things will get faster over time, and probably because this is one of the very first games made on the CryEngine. Parties are still being split up at the moment, which I will assume is being fixed with a tile update, which is kind of crappy, but I don't know, it'll pass. I don't know how something like that doesn't get fixed before the game is released. They definitely need a competitive or a ranked playlist because there's far too many noobs playing the demo. Like, I'm sitting on a KD of 7, I'm not kill whoring, I'm just playing the game and getting flag caps. The melee lunge is a little bit funky, as you'll sort of see me do it a few times in the video. It's a bit weird to say the least. I'm really itching to play this game. Sorry for rambling for a bit. I've never really done a commentary or review before, and I'm just honestly love struck with this game, so I'm getting my words a little bit muddled up. I really like this game. I can't say enough about it. I think it's fantastic. I definitely think you guys should get it. It's only worth like $10. Seriously, go and buy it. Come play some freaking scrims with me. I want more Aussies playing this game. I'm gonna go smash some uni work so I can play. I'll talk to you guys later. Vile Slater out.